Greetings, fellow Star Trek Starship Collector. This is Joshua Mitchell here. We have got an exciting month this month with the first XL Starship from Fanhome. And for us, they have chosen the Enterprise F as seen in Star Trek Picard Season 3. They've also sent us a couple of free gifts that we'll take a closer look at, but we're going to unbox the Enterprise, take a look at her details up close, see how she compares to other models from Eagle Moss and from Fanhome in this current series. So come on back, let's take a deep dive. Okay, here we go. We're ready to unbox her. Now, I've seen a number of folks online who have said that the warp nacelles have been detached from their Enterprise, so I'm really hoping that they're going to be attached on mine. We'll see. But, all right, so, by the way, this box has got some really nice embossing on the Star Trek here on the label this time around. It's pretty fancy schmancy. Okay, so as always, we've got our Star Trek booklet. Again, really cool to see the design. This is indeed an Odyssey-class starship, just like from Star Trek Online, with acting Captain Admiral Shelby. As we kind of flip through the pages here, we see more information about the Enterprise F. There's a nice article on how it was designed with some cool photos and a neat little silhouette of how it matches up to other Enterprises in the past. Always cool to see the design process and understand how it was that this came together, especially in this case because it was something that originated from Star Trek Online originally. So that's pretty cool. So take a look at some of those. Okay, as always, the book is nice, but this is really what we're here for. We want to see the Enterprise. So let's see. Oh, she's intact. Thank goodness. All right, so here she is in her box. The stand, of course, as always. Very nice. Now let's pull her out and take a look and see here. She's got some nice weight to her, so really cool. I love being able to see through the engines there as well, which with the right lighting is just going to make that look really nice. I do some things I see kind of right off the bat that, you know, people online have mentioned some issues with the detailing. But here she is, the Enterprise F. She is a beaut. So why don't we go ahead and take a closer look. So let's take a close-up look at the Enterprise F. We see the bumper here at the front as it's described in the design doc. Pretty neat. You've got the United Federation of Planets logo above the name for the Enterprise. That's kind of a unique addition. I think that's pretty cool. A lot of great detail as you see the coloring, the windows, the escape pods. We kind of move on from the bridge module. We can see the 4 warp governors here, the little blue dots on the top. Just really neat little details. Continuing down the neck of the ship, here we've got the shuttle bay. You'll note that the impulse engines aren't red. Again, I think that's a big miss, but that's okay. And then moving down the secondary hull as we get closer to the Aquarius class vessel. Again, just nice painting and detail. So swooping around these cool warp engines, here again we can see no impulse engine paint on the struts that lead out to the engines. And again, as we kind of get close to the shuttle bay, you can see where the impulse engines should have been painted, but they weren't. So sort of annoying, but that's okay. Again, great detail. Here you see the Delta logo at the top. Now we're taking a look at the ventral side of the ship. So there's the bottom of the Aquarius class vessel. Here the secondary hull painted the darker gray. This is very evocative of the Enterprise E to me. You can see the Bazard collector up underneath, and then of course there's the deflector dish, which is very reminiscent of Voyager's. Maybe not as blue, but makes me think of the U.S.S. Voyager quite a lot, calling back to some of those details of past ships. Again, just further awesome paint job and detail as you take a look here underneath of the saucer. Moving to the forward section here where the name of the Enterprise is located near the bumper. Here's a side view of the engines. They were redesigned for this version, for the screen version of Picard Season 3. They look really awesome. Lighting through those engines would make them look pretty cool. And then again, they sort of solve for the window problem here. There are no indentations for the windows. Now, some of them look like maybe they're running above where they should. As we kind of zoom in here, maybe these 4 blues are supposed to be down a little bit. But again, with no indentations, they can kind of just put the windows where they want. And I think it looks fine. I don't think it looks like as big a miss as we've seen in the past. Here we see from the starboard side, the ship, nice profile of her. And then I took this shot of the front because I noticed that you can see clear through between the saucer and the secondary hull, which you could not do with the regular model that was found from Eagle Moss. They had a little support peg in there between the two. So really nice that you really get the ship the way it looks. So I thought for fun, we'd start with comparing the original Enterprise F from Eagle Moss, the standard size, with this XL from Fanhome. Clearly, huge difference, no surprise. Difference, of course, in the way that things look, and that makes sense too. The XL model is the on-screen model that we saw in Star Trek Picard, which is kind of a rebuilt and revamped model from Star Trek Online. It was totally redone within the process of about 3 weeks. So the small Enterprise F is coming in at 5¼ inches, and then the XL Enterprise F is coming in at about 10½, just over 10½, which puts it in line with many of the other XL models. For our next comparison, we have got the Titan, the first that came from Fanhome. Here we have the Titan coming in at 8 5/8 inches, again to the 10½ inches of the XL Enterprise F. So a sizable difference, but it looks pretty nice next to one another. They're both very well detailed. Again, gray coloring is a little different between the two ships, and that's okay because it's a different class of ship, so I'll allow it. Very good. Next, we'll take a look compared to the Voyager XL model from Eagle Moss. Very close in their size here. I know it looks a little weird because of how they're positioned, but the Voyager model is coming in at 10½ inches, and the XL Enterprise F is coming in just over 10½ inches. So positioning makes them look a little off, but they're actually very, very close in size. And I imagine we'll see this with the rest of Fanhome's XL models going forward. And then just for the heck of it, decided to also throw together here the 3 Picard-era ships that we've seen now. So we've got the Titan at 8 5/8 inches, the Stargazer at 7 3/4 inch, and then we have the Enterprise F at 10½. So again, kind of cool to see the modern ships being made for this new era of Star Trek. They look good together. Are you thirsty? If so, I would suggest a different mug than this Raktajeno cup. It's really cool to have some sort of a little prop from Star Trek. Raktajeno, of course, being introduced in Deep Space Nine, my personal favorite series. I love it. It's a small cup. It's about 3½ inches tall and about 3 inches wide, not considering the handle, which would put it at 4¼ inches wide. It is a nice mug. It's metal, it's solid. But if you like a big cup of coffee, as I tend to like, this isn't going to do it for you. But still a cool addition to the collection. Up next is the Okudagram of the Titan A. I was so excited to get my hands on this, but a little disappointed, honestly. So as you can see, collects dust pretty easy. I keep wiping this thing down. If you notice that yours is cloudy, there's a protective film on both the outside and inside of this casing. These are magnets in the 4 corners, so you can just pull it apart. Comes apart pretty easy, and you can remove the film so that it looks clearer. With the right lighting, I'm sure this thing would look awesome. The protective casing is 8¼ inch long, it's 5 7/8 inches tall, and it's about 3/4 inch wide. The Okudagram itself, though, is a little flimsy, so be careful with it, and is tiny. It's only 2 inches tall itself. But hey, it's a free gift, so it's a cool little thing to have on the shelf. And there we have it, our first XL from Fanhome. They did a great job with this model, in my opinion. I think it looks fantastic. The detailing on it is great. I was expecting the color to be closer to Star Trek Online, or how you even see it on screen, maybe a little whiter instead of gray, but it fits with the Federation motif. I was also hoping to see the impulse engines painted red on here, both on the engine struts here and then on the back near the shuttle bay, but okay, it's a miss. I can let it go. I think they also fixed the window issue by having the indentations removed and just painting the windows on. I don't need indentations. Not that big a deal to me. So yeah, fantastic. It's heavy, it looks good, a nice addition, makes me excited for the other XLs that we'll see in the future. The Enterprise G, Voyager A, the U.S.S. Protostar. So some other ones I'm really excited about having in my collection. So I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you want it, I hope you get a chance to get your hands on it at some point once Fanhome makes it available outside of the subscription service. Again, it's an XL model, so it costs a little extra, so be prepared for that. But we want you to come on back next month. Next month, we'll take a look at another regular edition. We'll be looking at the SS Helios, Beverly Crusher's ship from Star Trek Picard Season 3. So come on back and join us. Until then, live long and prosper.